A very good morning to all the students. I hope every one of you is fine and doing well. So in the continuation with the topic we were doing in our previous lecture, that was hydrocarbons, we will be continuing the topic saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons. So in the last lecture we have read about saturated hydrocarbons that are called as alkanes. So today we will be reading about alkenes and alkynes. Since you had some problem in your homework section, so I am discussing question number 6 and 7 with you before I start the topic. So the questions were, what is the general formula of alkanes? Identify the alkanes from the following, and these were the some formulas. So this is a very simple thing which I have been discussing with you, that is, like I have written here that they have a general formula of CnH2n+2, where n is the number of carbon atoms. Like in the previous video we have read about all these alkane family. So any hydrocarbon in which the carbon atoms are connected to only single bond, so there is only one single bond, so we can also have single C carbon hydrocarbon. Okay, so there is only C, so because carbon has 4 electrons which needs to get 4 more electrons, so it cannot take 4 electrons, neither it can give 4 electrons, so it will share the electrons from the other atoms or other elements. So here hydrogen needs 1 atom, so it will be requiring 4 hydrogen atoms which will share the electrons with one single carbon atom, that is CH, because C has 1, 2, 3 and 4 electrons, and hydrogen will have 1 electron. So one hydrogen will have 1 electron and the other will have 1, and this will have 1. So basically it will be using 4 hydrogen and 1 carbon to form a covalent bond. So all the hydrogen will have 2 electrons because they will complete their duplet structure. Okay, and then the carbon will also have 4 electrons because it will share one electron from each hydrogen atom. So that is how it will fulfill its octet structure. Okay, so the first comes in this is meth. Okay, meth means 1, eth means 2, prop means 3, but means 4, pent means 5, hex means 6, and so on like 10. So first it's because it's alkane, so the suffix so the last will be ane. Okay, so methane will have only 1 carbon atom and hydrogen will be 4 because there are 4 hydrogens, since the formula also says that CnH2n+2. That means when C is 1, so H is 2n, that means 2n, that is 2 into n. So 2 into 1 equals to 2 only, and plus 2 will become 4. This is a formula which you can use to find out whether it's alkane, alkene or alkyne. Then ethane. Ethane has 2 carbons. Okay, then C2H6, that means carbon will have 2, there are 2 carbon atoms and then there are 6 hydrogen, because if we'll count here, because this is for example I'll tell you here, like C are 2. Okay, then H will be obviously 1 is shared with this carbon, so because it's a single bond, so only 1 electron will be shared, so it will require 3 more hydrogen with this carbon and 3 more with this hydrogen. Okay, so if you count here, these 4 electrons are shared with the other atoms, so carbon is having all the 4 electrons extra, so it is having total number of 8 electrons in its outermost shell, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because 4 it is already having and it is getting 4 from the other also. So that means the formula would be C2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So HR6, C2H6. Okay, and then when carbon is 3, I have explained you here also 1, 2, 3. So it will be using 8 hydrogen because 1, 1, 1. So all the C are sharing their 1 electrons and the remaining will be shared with the hydrogen. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, so this is how it goes. So when C is 3, H will be 8. When C is 4, H will be 10. When C is 5, H will be 12, because of the formula, that is CnH2n+2. You just have to learn the formula of alkanes, alkenes and alkynes and you will be sorted out. Okay, when C is 1, that means when C is 1, so H is 2n into 1 plus 2, that means CH4. And if you will solve by this, you will easily get all the formulas, molecular formulas of these hydrocarbons of alkanes. Alkanes are called as saturated hydrocarbons. Now next we'll be doing these questions. Okay, so from here we have to find out whether these are alkenes or alkynes. So we have studied about only alkanes, so we will be finding only alkanes in this. Like this is CH4, this is alkane. Now if we'll check this C2H6, okay, so we'll be checking this C2H 2. So here, because alkenes have general formula CnH2n plus 2, so according to this, if C is 2, so H should be 2 into 2 plus 2, and it should be C2H. Now 2 2s are 4, and this is okay, 4 and 2 6. Okay, so this should be the alkane, but this is C2H2, so this is not the alkane. So this is not an alkane. Now for this C2H6, yes, it is an alkane, it is ethane. C3H6 is also not alkane, because C3, when C will be 3, H will be not 6, H will be 8. Okay, and then the next is C3H8. So the alkane, so the number 6, answer number 6 is CH4 is the alkane, and C2H6 is the alkane, and C3H8 is the alkane. Okay, so you can also solve this by doing again the same thing. Like C is N, so H will be 2N, 2 into N plus 2. When C is 1, so H is 4. When C is 2, so H is 2N into 2 plus 2. It will be C2H6. When C is 3, so H will be 2 into 3 plus 2, that means C3, spell is not working, C3H, 2 into 6 plus 8, H8. Okay, so that means when C is 3, so H is 8, so H is 8, that means CH4, C2H6 and C3H8. It is methane, ethane and propane. When C3, we call it prop. Okay, so this is done. Now next is, which of the following compound is saturated? So saturated are those compounds which have single bond in them, that is alkane. So here this is alkane. C2H4 is not an alkane. C2H2 is also not an alkane. So only CH4. So answer number 7 is CH4, that is methane. Methane is saturated hydrocarbon. Okay, so this is the answer of the last worksheet. Now we will be reading about unsaturated hydrocarbons. So I have told you in my previous lecture that I will again repeat this because I think you are really confused in this. So hydrocarbons are basically of two categories, that is aliphatic and cyclic. So aliphatic are those which are in the open chain, like we read in a chain form, and this is cyclic. Now in this aliphatic we have two different categories called as saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons. So in the case of saturated, there is only single bond. That means carbon will share a single bond, okay, with the other carbon atom. And in the case of unsaturated, there will be double bond and triple bond. So double bond are called as alkenes and triple bond is called as alkynes. So we will be reading about alkenes and alkynes today. Okay. So this alkenes and unsaturated hydrocarbon in which the two carbon atoms are connected by a double bond is called as alkene. So there were three things, which is alkane, alkene and alkyne. Though the names look similar, but there is a difference of alkane, that alkene and alkyne. Okay, so alkane means single bond, alkene means double bond, and alkyne means triple bond. So this is the saturated hydrocarbon This is unsaturated hydrocarbon. Spelling is a little mistake. Hydrocarbon, and this is also unsaturated hydrocarbon. Okay, so only alkane is the saturated hydrocarbon, and these two are unsaturated hydrocarbons. So this is the bond between the carbon atoms. For example, here we have done single bond and single bond. C is having a single bond. That means if we will expand this, if we'll study in this version, so by chance we know that C is having 4 electrons in its outermost shell. Okay, so because it has 4 electrons, so it needs to complete its octet structure. To complete its octet structure, this carbon atom needs 4 different electrons, and we have read that carbon cannot take 4 electrons from any other atom because the nucleus, which is having positive charge, will not be able to hold 4 extra negative charge. Okay, and it also cannot give 4 electrons because of the force of attraction. Because in the positive and negative, the nucleus will not give its electron. The nucleus is having positive protons, but the nucleus, the positive charge will attract the negative charge, and it will not be able to give its 4 electrons. So it will share the electrons. So it will either share with hydrogen or with the other carbon, because carbon also shows catenation property. That means carbon can form a long chain-like structure or ring-like structure with its own carbon atom, which is known as catenation property. And this makes it a versatile atom. So carbon here will share, because these are hydrocarbons, we are studying about hydrocarbons. So carbon will be sharing electrons with hydrogen. Like if it shares electrons with hydrogen, 4 hydrogen, that means it is the first member of this saturated hydrocarbon family. So this is hydrogen is having only 1 electron. Okay, so since hydrogen is having 1 electron, so 1 electron will be taken from this hydrogen, 1 from this hydrogen, 1 from this, and 1 from this, and this is how it will get all the 8 electrons to this carbon. Okay, and also hydrogen will be having 4 electrons, each 1 electron. So this is in the case of 1, it is called as methane. And now this, when carbon are 2, when they are 2 carbons, so it is having a single bond. That means 1 electron is being shared with the other carbon, but the other will be taken with the hydrogen. Okay, here I have already explained you, but I think you have a little problem in this topic, so I'm going with this again. So this is all they are having, and carbon is also having its 4 electron, and like this. I hope it's clear to everyone. Okay, so it's a single bond, but in the case of double bond, what happens, like this is carbon and this is the other carbon. Now in this alkenes there is no meth, so it is methane cannot happen in this because it has to be a double bond. So when there is single carbon atom, so if it will form double bond, obviously it will be forming double bond with the other carbon atom, not with the hydrogen, because the hydrogen atom only needs 1 electron. So carbon cannot give 2 electrons to the hydrogen. So in that case, the carbon will only form the double bond with the other carbon atom, not with the other atoms. So we just have ethene as the first member of this unsaturated alkenes. Alkenes are the single bond and alkynes are the triple bond, and alkenes are the double bond. Okay, so since this is the first, so carbon will be sharing its 2 electrons, so double bond. That we can also make like this. So each carbon is sharing 2 electrons. So when it is already sharing 2 electrons, that means it is only having extra 2 electrons, because carbon has 4 electrons, so 2 are already being shared with the other carbon atom. So it will only share the next 2 electron with the hydrogen atom. So there will be only 4 hydrogen atoms. Okay, that means this is sharing with this, this is with this. Hydrogen is also having 2 electrons now. Now this carbon is sharing the electrons with the carbon and 2 hydrogen. If you'll count again, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Fulfill. And this carbon is also sharing with the other 2 hydrogen. So the difference is, in this there are 4 hydrogens and in this there are 6 hydrogens, because it is having a general formula of CnH2n. That means when the carbon is 1, hydrogen is 2 into, when the carbon cannot be 1, carbon is only 2. So the hydrogen will be also 2. And there is no plus, no minus in this CnH2n. Okay, so that means C is 2, so H has to be 4. Clear? Now, in the other case, when carbon... Okay, so with the case of next, if we'll take about, first we have read about ethene. So ethene was, if you remember, it was C, when general formula C is N, so H will be H2N. Okay, so when C is 2, so H will be 4. Okay, so for propene, C will be 3. So if C is 3, so H will be C3, H is 2 into 3. That means H will be 6. Okay, so if we'll expand this, it will be C is 3, because it is a double bond. So ene has a double bond. So now in this, it does not means that if carbon is having a double bond, then all the carbon is having double bonds. Any of the carbon atom will be having a double bond. So if this carbon is having a double bond, that means these are fulfilled. If we'll expand this, so this is carbon 4. This carbon needs 4 electrons. Okay, so now when this carbon is using these 2 electrons with the other carbon atom, that means these 2 carbon only requires the extra hydrogen atom. So that means it will be using hydrogen this and this hydrogen, and this carbon will be using this hydrogen here, and now this will not use carbon because it is having a bond here. Now this is a single bond, but does not mean that it is an ethane, because it is having a double bond here also. So double bond does not mean that all the carbons will be sharing double bond. It happens sometimes that the carbon will be sharing double bonds, 2 or more carbon. Then we have a IUPAC naming for that, and that is called nomenclature, but we don't have that in our syllabus for this year, so I'll not be going in that detail. So this will be sharing with this will be this with this. So now if we'll count, all the carbon is having 8 electrons here. This carbon is sharing 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 1 with this hydrogen. Okay, so it is also having all the 8 electrons. This carbon is also sharing with this all the 8 electrons. So if we'll count, the number of hydrogen is 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Okay, that is C3H6, is called as propene. Okay, if we'll take another example, such as butene. So butene will be having, but means 4, but will be having 4 carbon atoms. Now when the carbon atoms are 4, then the formula will be CnH2n. Okay, this is the general formula of alkene. So it will be C is 4, so H is what? H is 2 into N. That means H is 2N, 4, 8, C4H8. Okay, so it will be like this. C is 4. And anywhere it will be double bond. For say we will put a double bond here. Okay, so that means this carbon is sharing electrons with the other carbon. Now this is sharing 3 electrons with this, so it only needs 1 extra electron with the hydrogen atom from a bond. 1 2 3, so it also has only 1 extra electron. It will use only 1 hydrogen. This will be using 3 hydrogen atoms, because this is having only 1 electron using up with the other carbon atom. Okay, I hope you are getting this. and this carbon is also using only one electron here, so it will also have 3 electrons free, so it will be using the other hydrogen. Okay, so now this is the structure. So if we'll count here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. So number of hydrogen atoms are 8 and number of carbon atoms are 4. 1 2 3 4, and this is the formula, that is C4H8, which is called as butene, because here's a double bond, which is called as unsaturated hydrocarbons. And this will go on like this. Now we'll take with the alkynes. Okay, so alkynes has a general formula, which is CnH2n minus 2. So when H will be when C will be 2, because we can't start with one C because they have to be triple bond. So alkene has a triple bond. Okay, so this is the general formula for, I'll write again, for alkanes it was CnH2n plus 2. For alkene it is CnH2n only, and for alkyne it is CnH2n minus 2. So alkene is single bond, alkene is double bond, and alkyne is triple bond. Alkane, alkyne. Okay, this is saturated, this is unsaturated, this is also unsaturated hydrocarbon. Okay, now we are reading this alkyne. We have done this, and we are doing this now. So for alkyne, it is like if C is 2, carbon is 2, so H will be how much? So H will be like C is 2, H is 2 into N equals to 4 minus 2. So like it will be 2 into 2 and minus 2. It will become C2H4, which is called as Eethane. If we'll expand this, it will be C and C. So 2 carbons, it means 2 carbon atoms. So it will have triple bond. That means carbon has 4 electrons in its outermost shell. So 1, 2 and 3 here, and 1 is left here. Because 4, this will also have 4 electrons. So that means 3 electrons are being shared. So this is sharing 3 with this carbon, and this is sharing 3 with this carbon, and then this is also getting 3 electrons from this carbon, and this carbon is getting 3 from this carbon. So that means 3 are shared, so only 1 are left. So it will be using only 2 hydrogen to form to get the other 2. That means it will form a bond with this. So now if we'll count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 for this carbon, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So all the carbons are having 8 electrons, and hydrogen are also having 2 electrons. That means it is having 2 electrons here, 2 here, and this carbon is sharing 4 electrons and getting 4. So here is this. Did you get it? So it will be C2 and H 1 2. Now this is only an H2. Oh sorry, I have done a mistake over here. It will be 2 into 2 4 minus 2. It will be 2, not 4, because formula says that it will be minus 2. Okay, so this is called as Eethane. So next is like if C is 3, so how will be H? H will be N, 2 into N. N is 3 and minus 2. That means it will be C3H6 minus 2, 4. C3H4, which is called as propine. Okay, so this propine, if we'll expand this, now I've told you if there is a double bond, it does not mean that all the carbon will be having a double bond, and when there is triple bond, does not mean all the carbon will be having triple bond. For say triple bond is here in this, okay, here, So if we write like this, 3 carbon atoms and 1 is vacant, so it is using with this. So this carbon does not need anything from anywhere. It does not need hydrogen because it is having 4 from this. 4 electrons are being shared, so this will also need 1 hydrogen, and then this will be needing 3 hydrogen because it is sharing only 1 electron, so the other 3 will be shared with the hydrogen atom. Okay, so now it will be, this will be having 4, this 2 2 2, this, and then this will be having electrons from this carbon is having all the 4 electrons from there, and then this will be having like this. I hope it's clear. This carbon is sharing 4 electrons, this is also sharing 4 electrons, this is also sharing 4 electrons, so this will be C3H4, 1 2 3 4. If we'll take one more example, this is called as propine. Okay, so if we'll take one more example, like we take butane. So when carbon is 4, so H will be 6, because when carbon is 4, H is 2 into 4 minus 2. So 2 into 4 equals to 8 minus 2, which is C4H6. I hope it's clear. So it will be 1 2 3 4 carbon, and example we'll put a triple bond here. So that means it is sharing electron like this, hydrogen, 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 hydrogen here, here, here. So now this carbon is sharing 4 electrons, this also 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 and 4. So this is very simple, like it's C4 and H6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. I hope it's clear to everybody. I should be using some colorful sketch pen to make you more clear. Like this carbon is using electrons of this, then this is having 4 electrons sharing, this is having 4 electrons sharing, this will also have 4 electrons sharing. So every carbon is sharing 4 electrons, and it only has 4 electrons, so it will be using hydrogen is having all these electrons. Now this carbon is also having this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8. Okay, so this is also having all the 8 electrons, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. This is also having all the 8 electrons, and this carbon is also having 8 electrons because 3 are shared with hydrogen and the rest with the other. I hope it's clear now. One more example, if we take the last example, this is if it is example, we take hexane is alkyne. It will be C6, hex means 6, and H will be 10, because the formula is CnH2n minus 2. So if in C6, H is 12 minus 2, it will be 10. Okay, so now this carbon is 4 5 and 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Example, here is a triple bond. So carbon is having 4 electrons, this is having 4 electrons, again having 4 electrons, this is sharing all the 4 electrons with the carbon atom. So this will not link with the other hydrogen atom, but this will link. So here will be hydrogen, here will be hydrogen, hydrogen, there will be no hydrogen because already 4 are being taken, hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. Okay, so that means this is having this. Okay, so now this will be having all the 4 electrons here, this will be sharing with this, and now this will be with like this will already is having this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, no, not with this, it will be like this, and this will be having this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and this will be using all these. It is a little bit messy here, but if we'll count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 hydrogens, and all the carbons are having 8 electrons. So this is hexane C6H10. I think it's clear now. If you have any problem, you can ask me. I'll help you with the solutions in the next lecture. And at the end of this, you have to do some question and answers I'll be giving you in the assignment. So please try to do that, and you can ask me whatever problem you're having. So thank you till then, and take care. Bye.